So here's the short version of how to solve an equation for x when you've only got x on one side. Okay, well, first thing to keep in mind is that if we're solving, our answer is going to look something like x equals and then a number. So we want to find out what x actually equals. And to do this, we're going to use what we call inverse operations. Now, inverse operations are like the opposite. So if we've got a plus somewhere, that's going to turn into a minus. And if we've got a minus, then that's going to turn into a plus. If I've got a times, then that's going to change into a divide. And if I've got a divide, that's going to change into a times. Now, the first thing that I really want to get rid of on my equation here, because I want to get rid of everything except for x. First thing I want to get rid of is this plus 4. And once I've got rid of that plus 4, I'm going to have left 2x on this side of the equation. Now I've got to do the inverse of plus 4 to get rid of it. So on this side, I'm going to do take away 4. So 12 take away 4 is 8. Okay, now I've got 2x. I want to get rid of that 2, so I've just got x equals. Now 2x means 2 times x, so I've got a 2 times, or times by 2. So the inverse of times by 2 is going to be divide by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So my answer is x equals 4. Now I can check this by putting this back into my original equation. So if x equals 4, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12. So I've definitely got this right. Okay, let's try another example. So here's my second example. And this looks pretty similar to the last one, but with a couple of differences. And again, I'm solving for x. So my answer will end up looking like x equals. And so again, I need to get rid of all these other bits and pieces around x to find my answer. And I'm going to do the inverse again. First things first, let's look at this number that's on its own, this -2 or take away 2. I want to get rid of that, so I'll be left with 10x equals. A little ping is me getting a text. Okay, but the opposite or the inverse of take away 2 is plus 2. So I need to do plus 2 to this side. Now 88 plus 2 equals 90. Okay, next thing's next, to get rid of the 10. So I'm left with x on its own, so x equals. Now this 10x means 10 times x, or times by 10. So to get rid of that, I need to do the inverse of times by 10, which is divide by 10. 90 divided by 10 equals 9. So 9 is my answer. And again, I can check this by putting this back into the original equation. So if x is 9, 10 times 9 is 90. Take away 2 equals 88. So yeah, so 9 is correct. Okay, one last example that looks slightly different to the others. So my last example definitely looks slightly different to the others, but it's the same principle. Again, we're solving for x, so my answer will be x equals something. Well, once again, the first thing to look at really is this number that's on its own. It's not attached to an x, it's just a positive 3. And I want to get rid of that, so I'm left with x over 4. And that'll be x over 4 equals. Now, positive 3 or plus 3, the opposite, the inverse operation is a take away 3. So I've got 6 take away 3 on this side. So that'll be 3 down there. Now then, this little line in here, we should all know by now, means divide. So this is x divided by 4. So if I want to get rid of this and leave it with x equals, so just x on its own, I need to do the inverse of divide by 4, which is times by 4 on this side. 3 times by 4 is 12. So my answer is x equals 12. And I can check this lastly by putting 12 into my original equation. So if x is 12, I've got 12 divided by 4 is 3, plus 3 equals 6. It's correct. So that is correct. X equals 12.